So in the last video, we have learned what is class and this signature to write a method and a class, correct? This video, we are going to learn what is variable. Okay, variable is a temporary data holder inside the class. What is temporary data holder? The Apex class, when you write it, what is the use of Apex class? The use of Apex class is to do some calculation, do some automations, and while doing some calculation and automation, you need to hold the data in a variable. Very simple example, let me give. Suppose you have to calculate now, because we are learning the basics of Apex, so I'm not telling you how to call the Apex from the Salesforce and how to do the real-time things, right? Next few videos we will just go and learn the basics, like what is method and how to write things inside the methods. Once you learn the basics, once you know all the keywords and how to call the method manually or automatically, then we will go into the Salesforce development and we'll try to see how this particular Apex, what we have learned, can be used in the actual programming. So I'm going to write a very simple program. The name of the program should be add two numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you how a method works, what is parameter inside the, what is variable. Move this. Please try to maintain this structure. You should have a bracket here. You can define a variable inside Apex programming like this. Variable is what is a data structure which hold the data in the runtime. When we write Apex class, we do a lot of while doing the automation in the runtime. What is runtime? You know, runtime is basically whenever you call this method, it takes few microseconds to execute the method code. Suppose you have written 100 lines of code and you are calling this method from the creation trigger. This takes like a microsecond to execute the entire program, right? Entire method, whatever code you have written. That's called runtime. That 1 microsecond, whatever seconds it is taking, this is called runtime. And in this runtime, you cannot hold the variable. You have to hold the variable data, right? Suppose I have two data, 1 and 2. I have to do the summation of these two and hold it in a variable inside the Apex class. So you need a variable which will hold the data. Let me give a real-time example, right? What is it? Suppose I am writing an Apex class to check whether the lead phone number that you are entering while creating is a duplicate or not. Now you need a variable in the Apex class to hold the new phone number that you are entering. The data that has been entered in the lead phone number, you have to hold it somewhere. For that you need a variable. Variable is something which will hold the data temporarily in the runtime. And once you hold the phone number of the lead you are entering here, right? Once you hold that particular phone number in a variable, you can now go and check in the database, hey, is there any lead exists with the phone number? If it exists, then hold it in another variable. You get it? If any lead data exists with the same phone number, then hold the reference of that particular lead in another variable. So this is where variable comes in the picture. Variable is a data structure which will help you to hold the data in the runtime, during the runtime. Variable is not something which will hold the data permanently. For that we have object. Now in the Apex programming, you cannot use object and field to hold the data in the runtime. Correct? So I hope the variable thing is clear. Let me give you one more example. For another example, let's say in my Apex class, I have two things. Suppose in the object, let's say product object has price and tax. Now I have to fetch the price of that product and the tax of the product, and I have to calculate the total price of the product, which is price plus tax. Now if you want to do this inside Apex programming, you need variable to hold the data, right? So variable is the data structure which holds the data during the execution of a method. All right, so let me take a variable. When I say variable, it's a data type. Every variable will have a data type, which means what type of data you want to hold inside the variable. I'm taking one variable called first number. Let me take one more variable called second number. You can do comma and put like second number. So first number and second number, these are two variables. And you know the type of this variable? Integer. What does it mean? It means this two variable, first number and the second number, can hold only number, only integer type of data. Which means, let me just do this, okay? In the next line, I'll just put it this first number is equals to, let's say 25. I can do it, no problem. If I save, if I go to file and save, there is no error, right? It got saved. But what if I hold here a text? Let's say second number is equal to, I'm holding a text. You know how to hold a text inside Apex? You have to give this quotation, okay? Text, or let's say Rajesh, right? Now this will give you an error because you have defined this variable as integer, which means you can only hold integer value inside this variable. But in line number 7, what are you trying to do? You're trying to hold a text inside this variable, so that's not legal. Okay, this is how you declare a variable, and this is how you assign a value inside a variable. The error says illegal assignment from string to integer. This is string and this is integer. You cannot assign string inside one integer. That's called illegal assignment. Okay, so now I have to give here, let's say 5. Got it? And let me take one more variable called sum. And guess what? Sum is equals to first number plus second number. First number plus second number. Very simple. Now what will be the value of sum? It will be 30. Now I hope you understood how to take a variable, what is a variable in a programming, and we're going to take few more variables and we'll show you how it works. But let me show you one small thing. In Salesforce, you can actually print something. Any programming language you learn like Java and all, you first have to know how to print something because you have to test it. As I said, the next few videos, we're just going to learn the basics of Apex. We're not going to do any Salesforce development, right? When you do the basics of Apex, you have to know how to print. How do I know what is the value of sum? I have to print it, right? And guess what? If you want to print something inside Salesforce, there is something called system.debug. You see, whenever I put system dot, I am automatically getting these methods, right? Let me just tell you what is the system and debug. First, let me show you, okay? So to use system.debug, what you do is just put like this plus sum. Save this. I have used system.debug. This is something which will help you to debug, to print something in the backend, in the debug log. We have something called debug logs here. Do you see this? Logs. Whenever you execute, whenever I do any operation, logs will be created. And in the log, this particular thing will be printed. That's why we use system.debug. System is nothing but a predefined class in Salesforce. In future, we'll be using a lot of predefined class in Salesforce, and system is a Salesforce given class which has already created method called debug. What this method does, this method will actually print something. It's a Salesforce given class and methods. Okay, I want to talk about this in detail after this video, but this line will help you to print something. Okay, I hope every single word in this page is clear. Next thing we are going to learn is how to call this particular method. Now I cannot call this method from lead creation or lead deletion, right? That we will learn later. But now we will see how manually you as a developer can execute this method. So we will go and manually execute this method. Immediately once we execute this method, what will happen? This variable will be initialized with 25 and 5. and some value would be 25 plus 5, which is 30, and that same value would be printed over here. Got it? Now in order to test it, in order to call this, right, please see how I am opening the anonymous block to run this. Okay, so you have something called debug here, and inside debug we have something called open execute anonymous window. You can put Control plus E, and here we can call the method. Guess what? Calling a method manually is very simple. You just have to copy the class name, okay, dot method name. Okay, so many things is not explored yet, right? So don't get confused. What is this class name dot method name? And here actually static things comes in the picture. Okay, I'm gonna go one by one slowly, so just go with the flow. Now if I click on this execute, what will happen? This class has the method called add two numbers will be executed, and immediately I will see the third log over here. Okay, let me just click on execute. You see the third log that has been generated, the first one. Okay, the first one is the recent one, unknown. Okay, if I click on this, if I double click on this log will open, and then if I click on this debug only, check this out, debug only, right? This gives me a debug. It is giving me line number 9. It is printing 50. Let's go and see why it is printing 50. Okay, so I'm trying to print here sum, and sum supposed to be 25 plus 5, right? 30. Why it is coming 50? It is because I have copied first number plus first number, which is 25 plus 25. Got it? I'm gonna go copy this, Control C, Control V, save. It is saved. Now I will go, I hope you understood, right, why I got 50. It because I by mistake put first number plus first number only, so it is like 25 plus 25. Now I have given first number plus second number, so now I'm gonna go Control E, just press Control E. Okay, it will open. Click on execute. But guess what? You can directly open the log from this checkbox. Check this box and execute. It will automatically open the blog. You don't have to double click. Column identify. Okay, sorry. Cool. This has already opened the latest debug log, and just click on debug only checkbox. Okay. See, now this time line number 9 it gives me 30. Okay, let me go back to my program. Okay, so what it is doing, whenever I'm calling this method, okay, line number 5 is first getting executed. This is where I'm initializing the variables, right? And line number 6, I'm assigning 25 inside the first variable. Line number 7, I'm assigning 5 in the second variable. Line number 8, I'm assigning first number plus second number inside sum. And line number 9, what I'm doing, I'm just printing. So after all these things happen, it is actually printing the sum variable over here. Got it? So this is a simple Apex program where we have taken an integer, two integer value, we just did the sum and we printed it. Alright, so I request you to type in, don't just copy paste it, just type in, understand this entire code first, because you are just learning. I'm assuming that you are learning things beginning. If you are a Java developer, if you already know coding, this will be like very basics for you. But if you are coming from non-coding background, I request you to understand this entire story, understand each and every word, and write it down by yourself. Don't just look into this video and then type in. Okay, understand this and type in. Okay, the moment you have a practice of typing the code by yourself, Apex would be like very easy. This is just the beginning. I'm telling you, if you follow me, if you definitely implement the things that I'm showing you in the screen, if you type in the code by yourself, you will be like very much comfortable after we finish at least like 10 videos in Apex. You get it? So let's go ahead and type in this code, and you also see if you are able to see the same sum amount or not. All right, next video we're gonna tweak the same program a little bit in a different way, and we'll see how the parameters works. Okay, we're gonna talk about parameters in the next video. See you in the next video.